Good morning, everyone, and welcome back to There and Back Again. This is the podcast. This is our fourth podcast between Aaron and I, featuring two entrepreneurs. One just starting his career as a founder and CEO of his new company, Rehuman, Aaron Sherwood, the Accenture's first EIR, and myself, who had 46 years in Silicon Valley and 6 different companies. So it's kind of the old and the new. And I can tell you from being around Aaron, the new looks very bright. The next generation is a great generation of founders, if we just go by the standard that Aaron is laying out. So Aaron, welcome back to There and Back Again. Good to see you again.
It's great to be back on here, Tom.
Well, we're going to get right into you. You know, we usually pick a topic that you're working on and working through, and we talk about it. But I think it's really important for us to tell our audience exactly what your company Rehuman does. You know, you started this thing about 6 months ago. Actually, the idea's probably been, like all ideas, nurturing for a while. But let's start off with just saying, what exactly is Rehuman? What is Rehuman going to be, and what problem are you solving?
Yeah, so I love this because we've been a little bit under the radar with this for a while now. But really, Rehuman is trying to solve for the fact these chronic health conditions are going to double by the year 2050. And really, about 80% of those are preventable through simple lifestyle modifications like eating the right things, drinking the right things, you name it. And the way I see it is that it's not a matter of people not knowing what to do with the data. I mean, the majority of the population now have some form of connected device, whether that's smart ring, a fitness band, or so forth. It's actually understanding the data and being intelligent about it. So, for example, the average person doesn't know the difference between heart rate or heart rate variability, for example, but a massive difference. And as I've begun engaging with some of the biggest health insurers across the UK, across Europe, North America, and Asia, what's become increasingly more obvious to me is that there is now a need to become more proactive in well-being, to prevent this statistic from becoming a reality. And for a very long time, young people between the ages of 18 to 40 have been quite overlooked in that approach. And so really, from that discussion, I've been inspired to create Rehuman, which is a generative AI well-being company that takes data from a multitude of data sources, and it builds a baseline through machine learning of what's normal for you. Based on that baseline, generative AI is then applied to that, which then generates a recommendation for how an individual goes about improving their well-being. If they meet that, they then accrue coins that they can then convert into cash back. So the idea is improving people's physical, mental, and financial well-being, but being really laser focused on the technology now, because I'm sure, as you know, lots of our discussions we're having in Accenture Ventures, and I'm learning a lot through this Entrepreneur in Residence program with especially our investments in artificial intelligence. This is an incredibly important time, and the timing is now around this technology. And I see that this is a busy marketplace. There are some very successful startups and now not so startups in the marketplace with this. But I'm now coming in with the new technology around this by applying the power of wearable data, behavioral science, academia, and interestingly, social media, to give people these unique insights. So that's sort of where I'm looking to play. And the demand I've been seeing as I've discussed this across health insurers and the employer wellbeing landscape has been really quite incredible. And I'm really energized by this, and I'm really excited with where this is going.
I am as well, and all of us here at Accenture Ventures are in you and in the opportunity. You know, market validation is a real tough thing to get. You know, venture capitalists are all looking for, give us, the idea is interesting. You had me leaning in right away a year ago or so when we first talked. But getting market validation, how's that been? And you've been talking to a lot of big players all through Europe and even in the United States and Canada. So talk a little bit about your process.
Yeah. Tom, I think I have one advantage through our Entrepreneur in Residence program, is that naturally, I think that elevates, and that has really helped me obtain access to the leading health insurers across the world. And I've really been engaging with a lot of chief innovation officers, CEOs, head of chief, leaders in their domains, and they're all giving me their time. And I'm sensing all from those conversations that there is urgency in the market for a solution that's really focused in this space. And I found that by combining the Entrepreneur in Residence program with this topic that seems to be right at the right time, that sort of enabled me to get the traction that I've got. But what I've also found is that at the beginning of this process, it was, of course, just my idea that was this, we're chipping away at it. But as this has started to gain momentum, I've started to realize where my strengths are and where perhaps my weaknesses are and where I need those that capability across the team. And, often, Tom, you say it takes a village to build a startup. And as I've been building Rehuman in the background, the village is forming. I've got individuals across all sorts of organizations that I'm really proud of. And that momentum is it's elevating Rehuman up. It's bringing more credibility to the idea. And I think that's resonating in the conversations that I'm having.
Yeah, I've been pretty impressed with your ability to build a team. As a first-time entrepreneur and founder you are here, that's foundational. Can you attract talent to your idea? And I think both your passion and your subject matter expertise has really pulled people into your this game and this environment of Rehuman. It is a crowded market. You know that. And there are players out there that are doing aspects of what you're trying to do. You kind of touched on, the timing element of it. But what have you done to, what do you think is going to make Rehuman unique and compelling to investors, to clients, to new employees? What makes
Yeah.
you different?
Yeah, this is there's no denying that the well-being market is busy. I actually see that as a good thing. There is a market. Um, but really, as I see these existing players in the market, they've been established by very incredible players that have strong insurance backgrounds. They understand the insurance in and out. Where I'm sort of coming on from now is the technology perspective, bringing on board the expertise with generative AI, machine learning. And what I believe this solution will provide people with precedent-setting insight by drawing in all those different data sets from wearables to academia to social media. I think we're onto something really exciting. So that's number one, is the technology. But the other piece does go back to what I was just saying about the team. I'm really confident that the skills that we've got across the team and the expertise is really very exciting. And I'm confident with those combined forces together, we're onto something very exciting here.
It is I've been an insider here, so I know the list of people, and it's pretty impressive all the way across, particularly around subject matter expertise, but also technical chops. And I think, we're in an era of generative AI, which is a real game changer. And that seems to be one of your secret sauces, to be really compelling and different than the rest of the players, because you're hitting the timing of generative AI as we go from large language models to small vertical models that are going to be more efficient, cost effective. You seem to be right at a great time. Do you feel that same way?
Yeah, absolutely. And that's really why my focus is on a number of things, but at the moment it's really on the product. And so I'm at a stage where, I'm fairly confident in the idea now. It's been, validated by a number of industry experts, and now it's showtime to really put all the effort in the product. And so focused on building a really exciting architecture at the moment, and getting all of the data sets within a sandbox environment and simulating that with a proof of concept as we really gear up for the first sort of seed investment round in the springtime. So all the momentum is going into it, but absolutely the focus is on the generative AI component to this. And really, I think that's what's getting all of the team around me, and as well as those that will be using the product, most excited by this.
Yeah, it's been fun to watch, because we have been privy to the lineup of VCs, both CVCs, corporate venture capitalists, as well as VCs that are literally lining up because of the validation you've done to the market and the market opportunity. So you mentioned it. I think you gave a little sneak that you're going to be raising some capital, some either pre-seed or seed capital, probably in a few months here. Is that right? What's your status right now?
Absolutely, yeah. So I'm really focused at the moment around going up for that first seed investment round around about sort of April time, so the springtime, which will enable us to really get going from then to develop the MVP out and start testing that with the design partners that we've already got lined, waiting up and eager to get going with this. The team are ready to go. So now it's just a matter of getting the capital in and getting going with it. But that's really the timeline that I'm focused on at the moment.
And you're raising around 5 million to 8
Right.
million, I guess. And it seems like the appetite is already there, and we'll see how it goes. And what's the, I think you're probably all heads down on that. The what's next is fundraising and product development continuously for the next 10 years, probably, as you continue to develop it.
Yeah.
I love that you went after this marketplace because of your own personal experiences as well. I know also that while you're going to start in the EMEA, Europe, with this idea, you've already done some validation in Canada, in Asia, and talk a little bit about, long term. This is clearly a global issue, right?
Oh, absolutely. All of us in our lifetime will be affected by some form of health challenge. So this is everybody. I am based geographically in London. I understand the health ecosystem here as a user of that with my personal health incident, but also I understand the market here. So it makes sense to launch here. But I've had a number of conversations. I've traveled internationally to the US, more recently to Singapore, off to Japan in a few months' time. And I'm seeing the same demand, the same urgency, not just in the UK and beyond. And that's giving me a lot of confidence in this solution. So really committed. And actually it's been really useful for me to travel internationally because of course everybody is affected by healthcare, but the healthcare systems vary from country to country. And as I think about baking that into the design early, that's going to be really critical for me as I think not just London, but how do we create a scalable product that accommodates for wide-ranging regulations and all sorts of different laws and things like that. So lots of insight that's being developed from that. But yeah, this is gaining momentum now.
I'm just so excited for you, and I have to admit that I'm a bit jealous. After 46 years of doing 6 different companies, I love this moment in time of all of those companies where if you use the sports vernacular, it's spring training in baseball, where you haven't played a game yet, but the excitement, and you can just feel it in everything you say, yeah, in every word you say. But I can also tell you that I have never really seen any entrepreneur, including myself, that has done as much extensive market validation as you have
I
around the
appreciate it.
world. And that point you just made is a really important one. If you don't architect it with the whole world in mind, you will only market to the architecture you build. And so I love that you are looking at it from a global scale standpoint, and I've identified, well, all of us here at Accenture Ventures are so proud of you, and everybody at Accenture is so proud of you as being the first entrepreneur in residence. Has the program worked for you so far? I mean, we got a ways to go. We got to get past the finish line here. We got to get you funded and stood up and all that. But how's the program worked for you so far?
Honestly, it is the coalition of the willing, as you describe it here, and the Accenture Ventures team with expertise across all the thematic areas of investment has been so helpful. And just understanding the rhythm of the language of other founders that are pitching to Accenture, for example, and understanding the bits that they do well and perhaps don't do so well. I may be a first-time founder, but by God, am I learning a lot of a lot of very valuable things that are preparing me as I go into conversations with VCs, for example, through to pitching to future clients. So actually being in this environment or in the entrepreneur in residence program is enormously helpful. And it may be 6 months, but I feel like a completely different person from where I was right at the beginning. I've learned a lot. I've got a lot of learning to go, but this is an exciting journey, and I'm really grateful for the opportunity. And this is a lot of fun, which is important, right?
Your extended team feels the same way. We talk about it behind your back all the time. The transformation of you is stunning. It's just stunning. Yeah. And that's all you. I mean, we're all helping as best we can, but frankly, you are a single coalition of the willing, in that you're listening, you're pivoting, you're actively listening to people, you're pivoting, you're changing yourself in many ways. And I could not be more proud of you. or your generation of founders going forward. I hope for everybody that gets a chance to listen to this, you hear the passion, you hear the excitement that we all have, but certainly from Aaron's voice. And congratulations, my friend. And you're just beginning, long way to go, but there's no doubt in our mind that you're going to be a great founder. So congratulations on Rehuman. And the next time up, we'll take you through a new chapter of Aaron's journey on Rehuman as we go forward. So hopefully you all enjoyed it. We'll see you in the spotlight and there and back again at our 5th podcast that'll be coming up in the next couple of months. Thanks, Aaron.
Appreciate it, Tom. Thanks all.